everyone, this is Shayna Hiller from Build Your Personal Yoga Business. And today I'd like to talk about the link between eating disorders and yoga. First and foremost, I don't love the term eating disorders. I'm actually trying to figure out a phrase that is different. If you can help come up with something, let me know. Second of all, this is a little bit different from the usual videos that I post, and I have had this on my to film list and my calendar for several months, and I've been putting it off, and I wasn't sure why. Part of me felt like, well, this doesn't really have to do with building your personal yoga business, or this should be a completely separate YouTube channel and topic in and of itself, and perhaps it will be at some point. However, it actually is 100% applicable, and I just feel strongly and intuitively guided to share this information. So first of all, something you may not know about me is back in 2007, I was fired from a yoga studio that I was teaching at in New York City for being too thin, believe it or not. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of that. However, did I have an eating disorder? Eating disorder, yes, I did. At the time, I was suffering from something called orthorexia. Orthorexia is an eating disorder that's concentrated on wanting to be really healthy, really pure. I was very, very, very specific with how I was eating. I was really immersed in everything from colonics to detoxification to colon cleansing to liver cleansing to fasting and to sweating all the time. And you know, my yoga studies actually taught me a lot about that. My professional nutrition studies taught me a lot about the benefits of these types of practices of eating alkaline foods, so forth and so on. However, what kind of crosses the line into a detrimental way of being is when it becomes obsessive, when it becomes compulsive, when it becomes too much, when there's no more room for pleasure or relaxation around food. So I've had lots and lots and lots of issues with food that yoga has sometimes actually made worse, believe it or not, and yoga at the same time has allowed me to heal and step into my true power, because it really taught me, boom, I am not my mind, I can change. That being said, 3 things. One thing, really important. If you are struggling with an eating disorder and you are a yoga teacher, take care of yourself. I was wondering, not only did I get really upset when I got fired, I got angry, I also was wondering why I wasn't getting any private clients, right? It's not just because people are going to judge you for looking a certain way, but energetically, it is impossible to be able to vibrate yoga. Yoga which is about balance, yoga which is about health, yoga which is about ease, yoga which is about inspiration and energy. It is impossible to transmit that frequency when you are not harmonized within your own being. And I'm not saying that we have to be perfectly healed beings in order to teach yoga. No, good luck with that. But if there's something that's stripping you of your energy, oh wow, I can think back to when I was at my lowest and I literally had no energy. I had stress and strain, and because I was so concentrated on my own food, I was thinking of what I already ate, I was worrying about what I was going to eat next. A lot of my orthorexia was residue from my conditioning as a young woman, counting calories, working out, burning off fat, watching carbs, counting everything and weighing stuff. That was a very intense conditioning that eventually kind of became more of a holistic understanding, but I was still taking advantage of it. Yoga is the practice of stilling the mind. You can read any yoga scripture and you will see yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the practice of ceasing, of slowing down mental movement. When we are overly concentrated on anything, even healthy eating, it can become a deterrent. It can actually prevent us from accessing real yoga. It can also prevent us from accessing our power as light workers, as leaders, as healers, as teachers. So working on you, taking care of you, practicing what you know, being on your own path of self-inquiry and healing your relationship with food is first and foremost. One of my teachers says that if the food is not right, meditation and yoga cannot happen. That food comes first, because food is what ultimately builds this vessel, this physical vessel. It also builds our energy pathways, our nadis, so that we can experience the fullness of our being, right? So if we're eating too little, it's impossible to be still in the mind. If we're eating too much, there's too much blockage of energy. So it's for us individually, it's a unique path to find the relationship with food that is the most nourishing and appropriate for us, which includes pleasure. It includes surrender. It includes enjoyment. It includes discipline. But it's not too much of one or the other. So that's first and foremost, is you taking care of you. Second tip is, please know that there is an association between food and body image and yoga. So if you do happen to have students in your class who perhaps it's more obvious that they're dealing with a certain condition, just be sensitive. Just be sensitive to that. Be aware of what you say in class. Try not to make any type of judgmental, obviously that's like a no-brainer, but this is just a gentle reminder. No types of judgments or assumptions. I always treat everybody in my classes as they are equal beings. Of course, they can take modifications and adjust their practice according to their own desires within a given structure. But at the end of the day, when you vibrate from a loving place, that love and that capacity to hold space for another person with full acceptance of exactly who they are as they are is actually fuel for their healing journey. That is huge. Third, if you've gone to a reputable yoga teacher training program, or if you decide to go on a yoga teacher training program, chances are you will learn a little bit about Ayurveda, which is a system of nutrition and physical cleansing and healing adopted from India. And the yogic diet, which you may learn about, is a sattvic diet. It's a very balancing diet. Now, of course, when any of these cleansing, detoxifying, or food-related, even any dietary theory not related to yoga is taken to the extreme, again, it's not what it's intended for. Food is not intended to be, I believe, as intensely magnified as it is. Just eat, get on with it. Eat, get on with it. Enjoy your food, eat slowly, enjoy the pleasure of eating. But if you're thinking about eating before you eat, and if you're thinking about eating after you eat, well, we could probably be using that energy for something else, like building your business, like making love, like, creating something new. So that's just kind of fine-tuning and finding that line. But if you study nutrition, which again, you probably did or will in a yoga training, you have the capacity to offer that wisdom and that skill, especially if you feel at ease and confident with your relationship with food. You can offer that as an added part of your services as a yoga teacher. Keep in mind that teaching yoga is not just about teaching asana. It's also about providing tools and information to people who may be suffering or struggling with their relationship with their bodies or their relationship with food. So I'm just trying to invite you to think outside of the box more creatively as to how you can actually serve people through yoga, through self-love. And that's yoga too. So that can be another avenue, perhaps, that you take, an additional avenue that you take your yoga career. So I hope this serves you. Again, a little bit different from my usual videos, but again, I think it's just important and imperative to bring light and a voice to this sometimes elephant in the room issue amongst the yoga and wellness world. That being said, one of my pivotal moments, besides just changing my mind, literally, in my own healing journey, was bringing a voice to it, was being an open book about it, was sharing. So if you are struggling, please share with other people, talk about it, because just by saying it, but just by being authentically you have no idea the power and the healing potential that you have to inspire and heal others. So the more confident we are with our own truth, the more relaxed we'll feel, the less of a problem or a hidden issue it is, and the more we have an opportunity to serve others. So thank you for sharing your light, your wisdom, and your truth and your authenticity, and for being such a radiant light in this world of yoga. And leave a question if you have it, a comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Namaste.